Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness on the Timeless Shift. Half of the Earth population is now under quarantine. A microscopic pathogen has managed to put all of us on hold and on pause so that we can change our behavior and stop the spread of this virus. What is fascinating is that it is the change in behavior, since there are no drugs that can actually cure it. It is the change in behavior that becomes important. I am personally taking all the necessary precautions. I am wearing my gloves and my mask when I do have to go out. Every 2 or 3 days, I step out of my apartment and I go out to get some additional groceries or just to take some fresh air. And I'm taking all the precaution coming back in to make sure that this vessel that is the embodiment of my immortal soul remains on earth. Now, I want you to pay attention to, in this oscillation, what actually it's giving me is an incredible gift and opportunity. I don't see this moment as a terrifying thing, although I do want to say before I continue that I am sorry for all of you who have lost your jobs, who have lost friends and family members, who are struggling through the pain caused by the coronavirus. However, there is a gift in this. Right now, because of this, the fear, if you can sit with the fear that this is generating for you, it begins to present to you what is a vulnerable point in your relationship with yourself and with the outside world. Whether this is that you are out of work, or whether it is that you're afraid that you're infected or that you're going to get infected or you have infected someone else. And these fears are for real. And you're realizing that the control and the security and the assurance that you had before about your purpose and your role on earth was an illusion. What is this virus trying to teach you on an emotional, psychological, and even physical level about your true role as a human being on earth? This is important because if you can learn this lesson, the fear begins to dissipate. And I invite you to begin to do this exercise. You have plenty of time. Half of the planets of almost 3.5 billion of us are at home. And if you're following what scientists are telling you, that's an opportunity for you to go within. Once you pass the fear, the conspiracy theory, who created it and why and all of that, none of that really matters until you begin to question in the depth of your soul, what is this trying to tell you? Instead of being in awe and in fear of it, like the yin and the yang, if this virus creates fear, at the tail end of one, the other one begins. So if the fear is darkness, at the other end is light. And I invite you, because right now, after releasing and surrendering personally all of the fear that are connected to this, what we are collectively learning, I have released this fear in prayer to God. And as I release it and completely surrender that I'm not in control, and I'm asking my higher power, however I understand it to be, to keep me safe, I let go and surrender completely of my sense of control that I have to do. And I realize that I am nothing more than a speck, and that I exist in a greater context, and I acknowledge the support of that context. As I do this, I begin now to enter into a space where there is an incredible amount of ease and blessings and unbelievable flow. I don't know how else to describe this because I've never experienced anything that feels that incredibly benevolent and kind. There is an immense opportunity. Think about it for a second energetically. If half of the planet is now at home and not running around like Don Quixote, running after a windmill, following illusion about what is important, and delusionally thinking that they're in control, but surrendering in some degree to another, either through the fear or past the fear into a higher power, then there will be an empty space that's created for the opposite to come in, which is the light. Moreover, look what's actually really happening around the earth right now. Right now, in the canals of Venice, due to the lockdown, the water is completely transparent and clear. You can see all the way at the bottom. Dolphins are now swimming in the canal. This is something that no one alive has ever remembered happened. The hole in the ozone layer is beginning to shrink. Places like Los Angeles that had a lot of fog are completely clear. The haze and the fog is gone just in a few weeks of lockdown. There is a tremendous gap and opportunity that's been created by this invisible force and this change in behavior that's causing us to have to make it understand that we have to work with the planet and not against it. I invite you to understand that this is an opportunity because I am gaining such insight into my vulnerability, into my connection to the planet, into my role and my purpose. Because when you begin to realize how vulnerable you are, you begin to try to strengthen yourself in figuring out ways in which you can correct the weakness in your emotional or spiritual psychology that's causing you to be that vulnerable. It's giving me tremendous insight, and I'm inviting you to do the same, since you're at home anyway. Spend the time, instead of worrying and following this conspiracy theory about who, what, when, and where, but focus on about you. How am I connected to this? What lesson is this experience is trying to teach me personally? And in what ways do I feel vulnerable by this? And how do I change this, if I can, in any way, shape, or form? And there are times where you don't have control and you cannot change. And this is when you learn to connect to your creative principle or your higher force or your higher power, however you want to call it. Use this as an opportunity to help you connect. Because I'm telling you, how I feel in my apartment in New York City is how I feel when I'm isolated after 2 weeks of deep meditation in the mountains alone. And it happens for me in 12 breaths with incredible ease. There is a change, a tremendous change in the ether of the planet. Yes, there's the fear, but once you pass the fear, there's a tremendous amount of light, of love, and of support. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, and share this video if this aligns with you, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you.